Okay, Wildcats, everyone at journal page 56, constructing exponential functions. An exponential function is a function whose successive output values are related by a constant ratio. An exponential function can be represented by an equation of the form f of x equals a times b to the x, where a, b, and x are real numbers. A does not equal 0, b is greater than 0, and b does not equal 1. Now let's take a look at the first example. All right, make a table for the function using a given domain, then graph the function using the ordered pairs from the table. Okay, so we're going to use our calculator for that. Let's go ahead and always clear your calculator space before you get started. Okay, so then we're going to do control divide 1 divided by 2 times 3 to the first value is -2. So that's 1 divided by 18. For graphing purposes, we probably want the decimal, so let's go ahead and press Control Enter. So that's 0.06. All right, now we're going to we can actually highlight, enter, change the -2 to a -1, press enter, and that's 1 divided by 6. And again, we're going to press Control Enter to get the decimal, so that's all right. And then let's go and I'm going to highlight, enter, change the -1 to a 0 and 1/2. Okay. And let's go ahead and convert the 1/2 to decimal. All right. And then we're going to highlight again, change that to a 1. So that's 3 divided by 2. Control Enter gives us our decimal. All right. And then last one, highlight, enter, change the 1 to a 2. So that's 9 divided by 2. Control Enter. It's 4.5. All right, let's go and take a look at our table. All right. Now you can see this is 2 decimal places, but to graph it, let's go ahead and round that to 0.1. Let's go ahead and round that to 0.2. Now all of our numbers are 1 decimal place. Okay. So let's go ahead and graph those. So our first point is -2.1, which is about right here. -1.2 is just slightly higher, almost the same point. 0.5, right below the 0.6. And then 1.5, which is between 1.2 and 1.8. And then the last point is 2, 4.5, which is right there. All right. Go ahead and finish up example 1. All right. Let's take a look at example 3. Enter an equation for the function given your answer in the form a times b to the n. In the event that a equals 1, give your answer in the form b to the n. A recent trend is advertising is viral marketing. The goal is to convince viewers to share an amusing advertisement by email or social networking. Imagine that the video is sent to 120 people on day 1. Each person agrees to send the video to 4 people the next day, and to request that each of those people send it to another 4 people the day after. To receive the number of views, v to the n is an exponential function of the number n days since a video. So the equation, you start with the initial value, 120, so that's 120. The rate is 4, and that's to the n days. Now, HRW is going to ask you to put it in this form, but really, you should write it this way. You don't need the n in the parentheses. Technically, I think it should be written that way, but HRW is going to have you put it in that form. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the next example. All right, example 4. Enter an equation for the function. Give your answer in the form a to the b to the n. In the event that a equals 1, give your answer in the form b to the n. A pharmaceutical company is testing a new antibiotic. The number of bacteria present in the sample when the antibiotic is applied is 11,000. However, the number of bacteria present decreases by half. The number of bacteria remaining r to the n is the exponential function of the number n hours since the antibiotic was applied. So the equation is the initial value, 11,000. Now, it says half right there. So that's 1 divided by 2 to the n. All right, go ahead and finish up example 4. All right, enter an equation for the function that includes the points. Give your answer in the form a times b to the x. In the event that a equals 1, give your answer in the form b to the x. Okay, so first off, we need to find the b value. To find the b value, because remember the function is f of x equals a times b to the x. Okay, so to find b, we take 1, 3, 3, 1 divided by 121. Okay, so we're going to put that in our calculator. So let's clear out the previous work. So 1331 divided by 121 is 11. So b equals 11. Okay. Now we're going to plug x equals 2, b equals 11 into this equation. Okay, so f of 2 is equal to a times 11 to the second power, but we know when f of 2 is equal to 121, so we can set this equal to 121. Okay, and I probably should have written that down. F of 2 equals 121. Okay. Now, my lowercase a's are a little hard to see, so I'm going to change these to capital A's. So there's no distinguishing or confusion between the numbers, okay? So 11 squared is 121, so that's 121 times A equals 121. We're going to divide both sides by 121. That divides becomes 1, so A equals 1. So f of x equals 1 times 11 to the x power. All right, go ahead and finish up the example. And let's take a look at the next. All right, use 2 points to enter an equation for the function. Give your answer in the form of a, and I'm going to use capital A. It just makes things a little bit easier to see. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we know we're using the form f of x equals a times b to the x. We need to find the b value. So b, these are technically divided by, is equal to 2 divided by 49 divided by 2 divided by 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and use our calculator. Let's remove our previous problem. So we're going to press Control Divide again, and that's 2 divided by 49. Control Divide 2 divided by 7, and that equals 1/7. Okay, so we're going to use x equals 2. We know that b equals 1/7, and we know that f of 2 equals 2/7. We're going to plug those into the equation. So f of 2 equals, we don't know a, parentheses b is 1 divided by 7 to the second power equals 2/7. Okay, well, let's put 1/7 in our calculator. So parentheses Control Divide 1 divided by 7 squared, squared is 1 divided by 49. So that's 1/49 a equals 2/7. Now we need a by itself, so we're going to multiply both sides by 49. So that's 49 divided by 49a equals 49 times, parentheses, Control Divide 2 divided by 7 is 14. So that divided becomes 1, so a equals 14. So our equation is f of x equals 14 times the b value, which is 1/7, to the x power. All right, go ahead and finish up the example. All right, example 11. Use 2 points to enter an equation for the function. Give your answer in the form of, and I'm going to use capital A. Okay, so we know our equation is f of x equals a to the bx. Okay, so we need to find the b value. So b equals 3 divided by 6, which we know is 1/2. Now we're going to use x equals 0. We know b equals 1/2, and we know that f of 0 equals 3. And we're going to find a. So f of 0 equals a times b to the 1/2 to the 0 power equals 3. Well, we need to find out what 1/2 to the 0 power is, so we're going to do parentheses, Control Divide 1 divided by 2 to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so that's 1 times a equals 3, so a equals 3. Okay, so our equation is f of x equals 3 to the b value is 1/2 power to the x. All right, go ahead and finish up example 11. All right, last example. A town's population has been declining in recent years. The table shows the population since 1980. Is this data consistent with an exponential function? Complete the explanation. If so, predict the population for 2010, assuming the trend holds. The ratio between successive function values is. So to find that, we're going to use our calculator. We're going to do 1200 divided by 6,000 is 1/5. And then we're going to do 240 divided by 1200 is 1/5. So the ratio is 1 divided by 5. So this is consistent with the exponential function. To predict the population in 2000, assuming the trending hold, all we have to do is multiply 1 divided by 5, parentheses, times 240 is 48. So the predicted population for 2010, assuming the trend holds, is 48. All right, go ahead and finish up working the example, start working on your assignment, and have a wonderful Wildcat day.